am delighted to be here in the Granite State. We're at the beginning of one of the most important races in our nation's history, and New Hampshire is the starting gate. You're going to hear a lot over the next 2 days, as you know, and over the next 18 months about different policies and prescriptions to expand the map and appeal to more voters. And I'm not going to dictate specifics to any of those candidates and what they should say. But I can tell you what I think the voters are going to be saying to these candidates. They're going to say, I want a government to keep me safe. I want a government that gives me the freedom to pursue my dreams. A strong economy that enables me to have a job, support my family. And a government that can provide a safety net for those that are really in need. A good school so my kids can get a good education. So that they can compete and be successful anywhere in the world. Now it seems like we should be able to agree on this, right? I mean, this doesn't seem too tough. But my concern is that too often we are in conflict. I don't know if you agree, but our country is being pulled apart. We are increasingly polarized. Now I recognize that we've always had divisions in America, but now we're seeing something new. More people expressing hostility towards their citizens in very harsh language. And as divisions grow, anger and hostility are deepening. And we're better than that. We've come together time and time again in our history to meet great challenges. In times of war and economic crisis or social conflict, we Americans have put our differences aside. We've squared our shoulders and we've solved our problems. But the more passions rise, the less our leaders are able to find agreement about policy. And this is very troubling, and it's harmful to our nation. Now, I'm a loyal Republican, but I am an American first. And I suspect that many of you, just like me, would like to hear a message that's not negative and divisive, but a message that inspires and unifies us. A message about empowering people, one that focuses not on our decline, but on our ingenuity and our dynamism. A message that doesn't fear the future, but approaches it with confidence and optimism. So let's talk about how we might do that. Pretty straightforward. We can come together under a big tent. I've come up with 3 initiatives that I think add up to reuniting our party and America. First, let's reach out. Talked about a big tent. We are a big tent. Let's embrace every member of the American family. And let's listen to all points of view. As Reagan said, while the GOP will not compromise its philosophies, one of its strengths is its divergence of views. And there is room for the tent, in the tent for many views. Second, let's propose a truly bold agenda. Let's build on our principles and soften and offer solutions that can really make a difference in people's lives. And third, let's look to our future with optimism. Let's focus on everything we can to unleash our dreams, the generosity and ingenuity of the American people. Today we're divided and becoming more so, but we've been here before. Throughout our history we've endured great divisions and bitter conflicts. Yet our leaders found ways to bridge our differences and move us forward, stronger than before. Let's remember Abraham Lincoln, who said that a house divided against itself cannot stand. He had to reconcile a country whose citizens had fought each other to the death. And through his malice towards none and charity for all, he was able to convince a nation to bind up its wounds. And Ronald Reagan took office in a time of crisis, but it didn't deter him one bit. In fact, he said that his highest goal was to make the American people believe in themselves again. And he did exactly that. Today we seem to divide everyone into groups, but Reagan didn't do that. He did just the opposite. In fact, he said the group I care about most has been too long neglected. It knows no sectional boundaries or ethnic or racial divisions, and it crosses political party lines. And this is the part I think is the most important. It is made up of men and women who raise our food, patrol our streets, man our minds in factories, teach our children, keep our homes, and heal us when we are sick. Professionals, industrialists, shopkeepers, clerks, cabbies, and truck drivers. It is, in short, we, the people. The record of great leaders such as these reminds us at the crucial moment in history that what unites us is far greater than what divides us. So let's follow in their footsteps. Let's remind our fellow citizens and elected officials that we share the same birthright and heritage, that our Constitution works for all, and that in these United States there are no second-class citizens. We enjoy equal liberties and the same right to self-government. We work together, and we serve our country side by side. As a mother and a grandmother, I can tell you that I know that in our hearts we have the same aspirations for our children and our grandchildren. So let's reach out, let's speak to each other and listen to each other, because we are all Americans. Second, let's build on America's principles and propose a really bold agenda. We live in a country that was created not to make its leaders and government strong, but to make our people free. Another Republican leader, Jack Kemp, said, whether you were born to be a carpenter, an entrepreneur, a mezzo-soprano, or an NFL quarterback, whatever it may be, nothing must stand in your way to climb as high as your God-given talents will allow you. Notice that Jack didn't talk about Republicans versus Democrats. His message transcended partisanship. Think what that message could be to so many people today who are downtrodden. Sure, the stock market's up, corporations are making a lot of money, but ask the average person, ask millennials. Most of them don't feel it. Millennials probably don't even know what the American dream is. They might think it's the title of a new reality show. But we need to remind them. We've got to teach everyone why America is a blessed and special place, why every person should be encouraged to have a dream, and why in America, as no other place on earth, dreams can come true. And I'm living proof that that is true. When Kemp said nothing must stand in your way, that means no more roadblocks to slow us down. Clear the path for women to take an equal part. Women comprise 51% of the population and are the fastest growing sector of small business ownership. Clear the path for the poor to reach the middle class, and for the middle class to go higher, for every person to build a better life. Now, as someone trained as a teacher, I know that it all starts with education. A good education can level the playing field for the poorest of the poor. It can help young people discover their gifts. It can encourage everyone to lift their sights. The younger we start education, the better. And we need excellence in education. We so badly need that. And if the price of excellence is rewarding better teachers, creating more charter schools, approving more vouchers, improving higher standards like Common Core or other alternatives, then let's get started. We cannot fail our children. And when it comes to the economy, we must be champions for small businesses, our job creators. We need to revise our tax code, make it cleaner and simpler for individuals and corporations, lower that rate, and then challenge our nation's companies to innovate, compete, manufacture here, export, and win in the world. And next, at a time when so many families are doing less, our government just keeps spending and borrowing more, laying more debt on our children and grandchildren. Do you realize that if we were to take 1 penny away from our spending, that we'd be on the road to a balanced budget? We need to eliminate redundant programs, useless agencies. Let's return responsibilities to our states, those resources to our states and to our people. Now, twice in modern history, 2 presidents, John Kennedy, a Democrat, and Ronald Reagan, a Republican, took a similar approach. They held the line on spending and they cut taxes, and what a result. We produced a tsunami of investment and innovation and job growth, which is about twice what our job growth is today. We created tremendous upward mobility, women entering the workforce and starting new businesses, minority unemployment declining, and the birth of new industries, especially in technology. Now, the third leg that I talked about of this bold agenda, after our Big Ten outreach and economic growth, is to point to an optimistic future. We have amazing possibilities. Let's build on them with confidence. Technology is creating opportunities, some of which would have seemed miraculous just a few years ago. Right now, there are plans for a driverless car. Now, personally, I appreciate parallel parking assist. Great innovation for me. But we have life-saving advances in biotechnology, cleaner, more abundant sources of energy. And I can tell you our technical development is amazing. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to be out in California, and I tried on an exoskeleton suit. These suits are being developed to help our returning veterans who are paralyzed, people who have had strokes, or accident victims, and many more things. It was pretty humbling to sit in a chair, have this suit put on, get strapped in, try to pretend my legs were paralyzed, lean forward, have that suit stand me up, and with a little lean to the left, to the right, it moved my legs and allowed me to walk. Now you can imagine a veteran sitting in a chair, being a prisoner to that chair, suddenly standing and walking. It was truly miraculous. And those possibilities just continue to create new opportunities, and they play to America's strengths. Empowerment, opportunity, competition, the power of innovation, this is our DNA. It is what Americans do best, and it is what our country needs most. So let's go forth with confidence, with optimism, with bold ideas. This is the time to energize America. This is the time to inspire our countrymen with courage and high purpose. This is the time to point to a better and brighter future. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to reunite America. And as Republicans, we must lead the charge. Thank you very much for inviting me and listening.